Exaggerated stories. I know I talk a lot about stories, and I really think that you guys need to grasp that you are naturally telling stories all day long. So when I am preaching until I am blue in the face that you need to change your story, I'm also saying not every single story is going to come true. Let's talk about the stories we want to come true, the stories we don't want to come true, and why I say keep telling stories even if they don't come true. This is Susie, your beautiful millionaire swan queen. Well, welcome back to the garden, my beautiful ducklings. Subscribe, smash the like button, share my videos, and I will love you forever. I am a life coach, and I am here to drastically change your life for the better. I tune into your happy meter, and I dial it all the way up. If you are interested in working with me one-on-one, please check out my website below. I do offer a number of packages, and I'm also thinking about offering a text package where you guys have somewhat of an unlimited amount of texting back and forth to me, say 5-6 days a week, no texts on Friday. Let me know if you guys would be interested in something like that. I know a lot of people love to text, and they can get a lot of shifting done with texting back and forth with me. So let's talk about your stories. Stories are absolutely positively amazing. In the last two videos, I used the analogy of you got cut off in traffic. Well, there's been times where we've been cut off in traffic, or you're driving down the highway and a semi-truck almost hits you. And then you sit there and your brain starts running. I don't want to be in an accident. Oh my God, I'm going to get in an accident. Please don't let me get in an accident. Oh God, I don't want to get in an accident. You get to your destination safe. That story did not come true. You are relieved. You are happy. You are ecstatic that that story did not come true. Stories that you exaggerate. I made $1 million yesterday. Oh my God, yesterday I made $1 million. I was so happy that I made $1 million yesterday. Life is absolutely positively amazing because I made $1 million yesterday. Today, you wake up, there's not an extra $1 million in your bank account, but there's an extra $10,000 in your bank account. You didn't get the exaggerated story, you got the regular story. The $10,000. I want an extra $10,000. Somehow, some way, no matter what, I'm going to get an extra $10,000. Then all of a sudden you decided just to go off into a tangent. Oh, I'm a millionaire. I'm going to get an extra $1 million. Yesterday, I had an extra $1 million. Oh my God, life is so good. It's fun. It's outrageous. I can go on vacation. I can buy the family the Christmas presents I want because I have an extra $1 million. Do we want that story to come true? Absolutely, positively, yes. We want that story to come true. But we're not upset that it didn't. Then we are telling the story about our specific person. And we are exaggerating ghosting, blocking, lack of communication. We're putting them in radio silence. And then we're getting upset and we're telling everybody who listens that story came true. Do we want that story to be true? Heck no. So we have to exaggerate to the opposite side. We've been texting every day. We've texted every day since the day I met. We have the most amazing communication. We've been inseparable since the day we met. That dude fell in love with me, and he's been by my side since the moment I met him. It is so amazing. It was like 30-second bride. I met this guy, and 30 seconds later, we were married. We have been living a blissful life for the last 10 years. Life is amazing. As Jared's my partner, he's my husband. We have been together for 7 years. 7 of the most amazing years of my life. Life just gets better and better because I've been with him for the last 7 years. Have you been with Jared for 7 years? No. But you're telling your brain this exaggerated story. Is it going to revise? And all of a sudden you have a wedding date of July 8th, 2013? Probably not. but you're still telling the story anyways because you're getting your subconscious to see that this relationship has been good for you for 7 years. After all, the subconscious does not know the difference between what's standing in front of you and what you keep telling over and over again in your head. So these stories are going to get embellished. They're going to get elaborated. Perfect example. Growing up, I had my stepmother's family, and they loved to fish and hunt. So when they would go fishing, they'd catch a fish the size of my hand. You'd have to throw it back because it's too small to keep. If they caught a fish this big, that was great. But 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, the fish that was this big, just the size of my head, becomes this big. Then it becomes this big. And then the next thing you know, they caught a 3-foot, 400-pound fish. But the fish was only really this big. They're exaggerating. Because they exaggerate, then all of a sudden they start catching bigger fish. Because they're like, I caught a fish that was 3 feet long and 400 pounds. And then they start pulling in 100-pound fish. Now, fishing in Wisconsin, there's a lot of fish up there that can be 100 pounds or 400 pounds. They get big up there. I don't know why, but they do. And I don't like to eat fish, so I think we should catch and release. Oh, no, not them. We don't catch and release. We literally just keep getting bigger fish. You need to tell yourself over and over again little stories. You're making breakfast, and this morning I'm going to have bacon and eggs for breakfast and a piece of toast. Who am I making breakfast for? Well, let's see. I could be making breakfast for Savannah and Ophelia and Jared and myself and Josh. I could, have all my other kids over. I could have friends over. We could have a brunch party this morning, and I could invite 10 people. Don't give me the social distancing comments, because these 10 people are people that I talk to on a daily basis who know that I self-quarantine. And I enjoy working from home and living from home and taking my little car out on a road trip, and coming back. I love working from home. So my friends come to see me at home because I tell that story. I get to go out to the restaurants with them. It's really pretty cool. Whose turn is it to buy? Is it mine? Is it yours? Because Ash and I alternate who buys. And I think it's her turn, but it might be my turn. I don't know. We always say we're going to put it on the calendar because neither one of us can remember. Stories. They are amazing things. You can raise people up with stories. So you have somebody who's always complaining that they're struggling financially. Oh my God, it is so wonderful to hear them say that I still have money after payday. Wow, they got a new car. Oh my gosh, they're moving into a bigger house. It is so wonderful to see that they are thriving. They didn't move into a bigger house. They didn't get a new car. But you keep telling this story in your head that they are doing amazingly well. They're financially successful. They're great with money. 6 months down the road, they pull in with a new car. They're moving to a new house. For months, you didn't think that story was going to come true. You just kept exaggerating it. And as you exaggerated that story, you started getting more and more into it. I love to write. And I write amazing little stories. I started it in school. I wrote the cutest little short stories. And then you have to embellish them to make them a little bit longer. And then you have to embellish them more to make it even longer. If you want a 200-page novel, you might only start out with a 20-page story. So then you go back in and you add more details. Now it became 100 pages. You go back in and add even more details. You got 120 pages. Ooh, now we're going to add a plot twist. And we've added 50 pages. Then we went through and we proofread it. And we were sitting there as we were proofreading it, and we decided, oh, it needs an extra chapter. So we put an extra chapter smack dab in the middle of the book. Now we have 200 pages. Writers embellish stories all the time. TV shows, movies, books. They're all elaborate stories. Think about Lucifer. Every week, Lucifer has a different reason as to why it's not working out with Chloe. And it's always Dad's fault. But he tells stories, well, Dad did this, Dad did that, and because Dad put Chloe in my path, I don't know if she truly loves me. He has a core theme to his story. But he keeps embellishing the story. The last part of season 5 is supposed to come out. I can't wait. Do Chloe and Lucifer get married? Do they have a baby? That is the advertisement they're running. Do they have a baby? Can a human have a baby with the devil? It's a story, so of course they can. Think about that when you are talking about what you want. Be bold, be proud, be loud. Look crazy, but here's the thing. My ex-husband told everybody I divorced him to marry The Rock. I'm not married to The Rock. I want to marry Jared. Well, can I change my story? And Jared is actually The Rock, and I'm just not telling anybody. Let's tell the story about my hair. I love the compliments on my hair. Thank you guys so much. You make me feel so beautiful. Do you know it takes me 15 minutes to do my curly hair? I wash it, I towel dry it, I put a little bit of conditioner in it, some mousse, and I scrunch it up. And then I put it up in a turban and I let it kind of dry a little bit more. And then I take it out of the turban and I just kind of scrunch it some more. 15 minutes. This takes me an hour. I wash it, I dry it, I curl it. It takes me an hour to do my hair like this. So when you talk about stories, when I was answering phones for the bank, I would get up an hour early before I went to work just to do my hair. And people would say, that's ridiculous that you get up an hour early. I was putting my best foot forward. I was going out because I knew that there was the potential that I could run into Jared or The Rock. Now, who is Jared really? Is he The Rock? Is he Jared? Is he gorgeous? Is he tall? Is he short? What story do you create with the love of your life? If I am leaving the house, I make sure, even if I don't have makeup on, that I look good all the time. Because if I bump into the love of my life, I don't want to look like I just rolled out of bed, ran my fingers through my hair, and charged off into the world. I get up and I get dressed and I go about the day. If I'm going to leave the house, I'm definitely going to go in the bathroom and I'm going to check my hair and I'm going to fluff it. Because if I were to run into the love of my life, do I look good today? Heck yes. When I did lawn maintenance, it was 100 degrees outside. I couldn't wear makeup. But I always made sure my hair was done and I was dressed nicely. Because I'm not going to go out in full makeup and sweat it off. It would not look good. And it would make me feel horrible to have these awful raccoon eyes. So when you go about your day and you're driving down the street, what favorite restaurant are you going to go eat at tonight? Who's joining you? Is it the person you're trying to raise up? Is it the love of your life? Is it your children? Is it your parents? Is it your best friend? When I tell stories to the little one, he's almost 3 weeks old. Tomorrow he will be 3 weeks old. And I tell him every time I feed him, every time I hold him, you are so beautiful. You are so smart. You are going to grow up to be anything you want to be. You're going to be so big and strong and handsome. I'm going to have to fight off the ladies because they're going to love you. And how am I going to get Gigi time? I have a friend and she says her grandson, she calls it Gigi's baby. This is Gigi's smile. This little guy is my smile. I just pick him up and my face just lights up like a Christmas tree. He's Gigi's smile. We've created a story about Josh and all of his cooking, and we're calling him Nona Josh, which means he's Grandma Josh. And Grandma Josh and Italian families, Nona, loves to cook. And when you go to Nona's house, there's tons of food and it's shut up and eat this. Shut up and eat this. You can't leave without eating. Those are stories. It's what makes life fun. Make your stories fun. Make them loving. Make them good. Because if you don't change your story and you're running around saying, why am I happily married to Jared? And you are talking about the fact that you are struggling in this relationship, it's not working out the way you want, you're delaying your manifestation, you're delaying being happily married because your exaggerated conversation is what's not working. Instead of focusing forward and telling all these cute stories about how you had breakfast with Jared this morning, how you're having dinner with Jared this evening. Every time my phone goes off, Jared is messaging me. Oh my God, I get to go home. It was so amazing because I got to watch the football game with Jared this weekend. How awesome is it that Jared and I got to watch the football game this weekend? Here's the thing. It's your life. You're making it fun or you're making it miserable simply by the stories you tell. So have fun. Enjoy life. Tell stories that enrich your life, add value, and help you create what you want. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. I'm not telling you to go out there and stalk this person and blow this person's phone up. But the more you are telling the stories to yourself that this person loves you, that this person is moving heaven and earth to be with you, this person loves to be in your presence, you are the love of their life, and love always wins, you are going to bring them home. If you are their home, this is the only place they can come. If you are their peace, their safety net, whatever story you are telling, it is keeping them from you or bringing them to you. So exaggerate those stories to come to you, because when you exaggerate the stories to come to you, they are going to come because they're feeling it. And if those stories have feeling and loving energy into it, they're going to come even quicker. I literally have a client who got her person in 21 days. She made him chase her for 2 months. But they literally got back together in 21 days. Simply because all she did all day long was write her stories down and keep telling stories about how this person wanted to be with her. She was the love of this person's life, and they could not live without her, so they were doing everything in their power to come to them. That's how powerful stories are. And then when you turn that story into a question, you get whatever it is you want quickly, easily, and effortlessly. And if you're doing it in a fun way, it's even more exciting when it shows up. I love you guys. Have an absolutely positively amazing day. And as always, leave me a comment and let me know how I am drastically changing your life for the better.